Hello, everybody out there in RumpleX YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about The Devil Wears Prada 2 Electric Boogaloo. That's right. The movie you love made a lot of money. I believe it was $700 million it made. I mean, it's on streaming now. You can watch it on streaming, but it went to the theater, yeah. It made $689.4 million. That's a lot of money for a rom-com, which is not really a rom-com, but it has it's a chick flick, not necessarily a rom-com. It has the trappings of a rom-com, but it's really not about romance or finding love at all. It's about, just being a boss bitch. That's what it's about, okay? Just like the last movie. Okay, it's about how to be in charge. And don't let no man tell you what you can and cannot do. That's what it is, okay? It's a typical feminist crap that they've been spouting out since the late 60s and stuff, the usual crap that does not work in real life. It only seems to benefit like rich, white, middle-aged, liberal women in New York and California, or Chicago. It doesn't seem to really benefit any other women. Definitely not women of color, okay? But it's that narrative that's put out there. Your job comes first. Take care of your job. Men deserve less because of all the millions of years that men have oppressed women. So now finally women are taking control of their own agency and their own, all that other crap. Okay. That angry women, not all women, but I think every woman, when she's angry at a man, tends to feel that way a little bit, I think. I know men do. I know that men, when, like for example, let's say that some guy's he's with his girlfriend, or wife. He's got a wife. They're married for like 6 years. And then he comes home one day and she serves him divorce papers. Oh, and by the way, I've been fucking the neighbor for the past 2 years. Okay, and I'm taking the kids and I'm keeping the house. Okay, that kind of a thing. Well, a guy that has to go through that, might feel a little jaded. And his feelings are hurt. He's about to lose a lot of his income, alimony and stuff, child support. And a guy like that who's been hurt by a woman, he could go online and he could search out other men that have been hurt by women, and then you find a community of red-pilled men, the manosphere, you could say, okay, and they all talk about how women all suck and women are all bitches and all they want is 6'6", 6 feet, 6 inches, 6 figures, 6-pack, all that kind of stuff, and that women aren't worth dating anymore. Ask her about her body count, you're not gonna like it. Hoflation, I think I've talked about that a little bit. For those of you who don't know what hoflation is, okay, that's a woman who's a solid 4, 5, 6, but she thinks she's a 10, and therefore she deserves a 10 in return. And if you've been on a modern day dating app, they're all that way. I mean, these women are butt ugly and they're saying you need to be this and this and this. They don't say you need to be rich. They say you need to be generous. Okay? They don't say that they're fat or overweight. They say they're full figured, or I'm a foodie. Wow. Tell me you're fat without telling me you're fat, okay? But they, of course, they want you whoever's hot right now, the Austin Butlers, the Harry Styles, okay, the Chris Browns, okay, that's what they think they deserve, okay, even though they're about as good looking as my asshole. Okay, and unfortunately, that is a real thing, hoflation, okay? At least with men, most of us men know that we're not shit, okay? There are a few guys that are the shit, okay? But those guys are very few and far between, okay? And I say this about, I reviewed every episode of Sex and the City, and I know if you've watched Sex and the City, you know who I'm talking about, Samantha, Kim Cattrall's character, okay? And I remember so many women love Samantha. I reviewed every episode, okay? I know all about Samantha Jones, okay? And she was always bragging about herself, how she can get any man she wants and how she deserves this and this and this. And I'm not apologetic about anything in my past. I'm proud of my past. And that men are only good for one thing. And I can fuck any guy that I want. Every guy wants to fuck me. And that kind of always bragging about how great she is, And, if you were to flip that around, okay, if there was a guy who all he did, an average looking guy, because I'm sorry, Kim Cattrall, You were a lot better looking in the 80s, okay? When you were in Mannequin and Big Trouble in Little China, okay? Police Academy, you were young and hot back then. I even saw her in an episode of The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno back in the early 80s. I'm like 81, okay? Like a long time ago. And she looked good back then, okay? But Sex and the City was like in the late 90s, in the early 2000s, okay? And I'm sorry, but the bitch was in her 40s, okay? She don't look the way she did when she was 20. She doesn't. None of you do. Most of you don't. Sorry, most of you don't, okay? And you're not going to get that caliber of guys hitting on you, okay? Because guess what? We also have standards. You know, we decide which women are 10s. Not you. We do. We, the men, we decide which women are 10s and which women are not. The men do. Just like women decide, you know, the sexual market value of men. Women decide that, not us. I can't just walk out the door and go, oh my God, I'm a fucking 10 and every woman loves me. No, because you're going to get hit with fucking reality. It's not true. Okay? Women decide the market when it comes to men. Okay, the sexual market value of men. Okay, and I'm sick and tired of women talking this bullshit. Oh yeah, well he needs to have a personality, and if he can charm me, and if he can treat me right, and he can open the door for me and buy me flowers and pay for the date, and all, you know, bull fucking shit. There's guys out there that do that. You know what? Women don't like them. Women cheat on them. And they treat these women like princesses. Just today I was watching a YouTube video and some woman, it was about like how to keep your woman turned on. Gentlemen, if you're afraid your woman might stray, don't worry, okay? I have just a solution to keep your woman interested in you, you know? And it was the stupid shit like fucking, like do her laundry and wash her car, okay? And send her fucking sexy text messages, okay? And tell her she's beautiful all the time. You know, bring her flowers and shit. Help out with the housework. You know, like shit like that. Like, what the fuck kind of advice is that? The guys do that anyway. You know what? They get fucking cheated on anyway. They get cheated on. The guys that do that. And you know who they get cheated on with? They get cheated on with a guy that doesn't do any of that shit. What the fuck? You see what I mean? Even women don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm going to tell you right now, ladies, this is the honest to God fucking truth, okay? And I wish more men knew this, okay? So do a favor, you know, if you got a brother or a father or a son that you love a lot, okay, and you don't want them to get fucked over by women, you need to pass this along to them, okay? If you want to know how to make a woman happy, if you want to know what turns a woman on, if you want to know what women are attracted to and how to cultivate that, okay, don't fucking ask a woman how. Because she don't fucking know. She's going to give you a list of shit, like I said. You take out the trash, you know, fucking shit, you know, give her a card or something, you know, buy her some chocolates, you know, whatever. Take her to the fucking all-you-can-eat fucking Asian buffet. Wherever the fuck gets her pussy wet, right? And that's what she's going to say, but that ain't the fucking truth. Okay? Okay? If you want to know what really works for women, if you really want to know what really turns them on, if you really want to know what will work when it comes to, you know, picking up girls and stuff like that, getting them in bed, okay? Don't listen to women. Okay? What you need to do is you need to look at the men out there that are succeeding with women effortlessly. There's not very many of them out there, but they are out there. If you've ever been to like a social event, you know, like an outdoor a concert, or you've ever been to a house party, you've ever been to a nightclub, okay? You've ever been to, you know, any sort of like a company picnic or something like that, you're gonna see those. There's always at least one guy like that the women just cream over, okay? That he's got his pick of the lot, okay, pretty much, okay? Look at those guys, okay? There's not very many of them, so you're gonna have to search them out, but there's places where you can find them. And the guys that are successful with women effortlessly, okay, look at what they do. What do they look like? What are they saying? What are they talking about? What does this guy do? How does he dress? How does he present himself? What's his appearance? You see what I mean? Look at those things, okay? And do that. Do that. Okay? That's what's going to work, okay? If you really want to know what turns a woman on, don't listen to a woman. Look at a woman. Look at what she does. Study her behavior. Don't study her words. She ain't gonna tell you nothing fucking useful. Study her behavior. She'll tell you what turns her on, okay? But then she'll fuck the exact opposite of what she just told you. You see what I mean? The smart guys pay attention to what she's doing. Whenever I liked a girl, like I remember like in high school, there's a girl I liked a lot. And, you know, she just wanted to be friends, you know, and it hurt. It hurt, man. When you're 17, it fucking hurts. When the girl you're in love with, you know, just doesn't feel that way about you. And then she starts to, but you want to stay friends because you don't want to lose her because maybe she'll come around and she starts telling you, oh, I lost my virginity to this guy. Like, oh, that shit just fucking stabs you in the fucking heart, man. I've been there. I know what it's like. Okay. You know, but what I should have been doing is instead of trying to win her over, I should have been, okay, well, look at the guys that she is attracted. She ain't attracted to me, but look at the guys that she is attracted to. What do they have that I don't? What are they doing that I'm not? You see what I mean? And that's when it started to click. I was like, okay, don't do that. Don't bring her fucking flowers. That ain't gonna fucking do shit for her. You gotta get her fucking wet first, okay? You gotta get her turned on. Once she's turned on, once you got that pussy fucking wet, once she's a fucking water slide down there, then you start trickling in the romance, okay? But you don't make yourself so fucking available, okay? You got to have plans. You got to be fucking talking to other girls. She's got to see you talking to other girls. That way she knows that you're valuable. If she ain't going to take you, another woman is. You see what I mean? That's how you do it. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, but these chick flicks and these fucking women, fucking when they tell you their advice, focus on one girl, blah, 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 you know, you need to be faithful to her, you need to be true to her. Fuck that noise, okay? You know when you need to be true to her? When there's a fucking ring on the finger. That's when you need to be true to her, okay? Because if you're not, you're going to face some severe fucking consequences in fucking divorce court, all right? So unless you've had that conversation, monogamous, hey, we're going to be monogamous and all that kind of shit. I love you. Fuck love, by the way. Respect. I'll take respect over love, okay? We fuck over people that we love. We don't fuck over people we respect, okay? So if you're with somebody, they got to respect you, okay? And you got to respect them. Because you never fuck over someone you respect. You fuck over people you love all the time. You don't fuck over people you respect, you know? So kind of like put that into your logic box there, okay? And try to look at the people that succeed in this stuff instead of paying attention to what you hear. What you hear doesn't mean shit. What we got here is a case of show and tell. You're telling me everything, you're showing me nothing, okay? What a person does is a hell of a lot more valuable and more of a learning tool than what a person says, okay? And that's what I'm trying to tell you here, okay? Don't watch. I made the mistake. Okay, I started watching chick flicks, okay, and taking notes because I thought that this would help me fucking be better at picking up girls. That's why I watched Sex and the City, okay, back in the 90s. So I thought that would make me better at picking up girls. If I watched the show that all the women are watching, that none of my guy friends are watching, it would help me with game. It didn't help me at all, okay? It just showed me how fucking ugly women were. That's all it did, okay? That's all it did. How accountability does not exist in a rom-com, okay? Where women on that show are getting away with fucking shit that would throw a man in jail if he did the exact same thing. Okay, no accountability, a lot of hypocrisy, and a lot of selfishness. Now that goes both ways. Again, men are selfish too. Okay, men try to avoid accountability as well. Okay, the bad men do. Okay, but it's not. It's something they know they have to avoid. It's not something they just expect to never have to deal with. You see, that's the difference. Okay, that's the difference between guy movies and girl movies. Right? Accountability is a bitch, ain't it? You know, I just saw Spider-Man. Okay. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but I just saw Spider-Man the other day because I'm a big, comic, obviously, okay, and I'm gonna spoil it for you, but the villain in the movie, okay, is a woman, and she does a lot of terrible things. I mean, she kills people, innocent people. She basically mind rapes people, okay? She invades them without their consent, okay? She inhabits their bodies without their consent. Okay, and when she's in there, she can make them do whatever. Not only can she read all their thoughts, okay, read their mind, but she can also make them do whatever she wants. Okay, so she's basically invading their bodies, like boom, like jumping from body to body, okay, against their will. And she kills people that way. She takes over their bodies and she kills people. She throws them into traffic. She takes a character and throws her off of a building. hoping that Spider-Man will save her, things like that. I mean, she murders a lot of people. Okay. And then halfway into the movie, we find out that the reason she's doing this is because a great injustice has been done to her. I ain't gonna spoil the movie, but basically, she was not treated fairly. Something terrible happened to someone she was close to. It was completely wrong what happened to this person, okay? And she's trying to get that person back. She's trying to find this person because she loves this person, okay? So we find out that she's actually going against an evil organization, okay? But like I said, she's killing people, innocent people, on her way to do this, all right? And finally, we find out why she's doing it, okay? Because an injustice has been committed on her. And then by the end of the movie, she realizes that she was wrong. And she realizes that, oh my God, maybe I should, maybe I need to learn to forgive. And maybe I need to, not be a bitch, And she decides to give peace a chance, after she does some terrible things. Well, now that she's had a change of heart, now that she realizes that she was wrong, what happens to her? She just gets to walk off in the sunset. No accountability, no crime. She's not being imprisoned. Okay, all the people that she murdered on her spree, and when she was killing people, she was gloating about it. She wasn't like, I hate killing people, but I got to do it. No, she was bragging about it. Oh my God, look at me do this. What are you gonna do when I make this person do this? Then Spider-Man's gonna jump and save them. Like that. Like she was gloating about it. Like there was no remorse here. She was enjoying it. She was enjoying. Basically, it's a metaphor for sexual assault, but she was doing that to a bunch of different people. Okay, and she was enjoying it. She was getting off on it. Okay, that's not someone who's remorseful. That's someone who enjoys doing terrible things to people. You see what I mean? And at the end of the movie, she doesn't get any comeuppance. She doesn't face justice for what she did. She just gets to walk off and Spider-Man feels sorry for her and just lets her go. Here. And the same shit happened in WandaVision. That was a Disney Plus show where the Scarlet Witch, she took an entire town hostage on that show. Okay, tortured all of them. Innocent people, innocent fucking people. She tortured them because she had gone through some trauma. Okay? And then at the end of the show, she finally frees all of them and then she just flies away. Doesn't go to jail. They tried to put her in jail, but they couldn't do it. She was too powerful. So she just got away with it. And the next time we see her is in a Doctor Strange movie. And what does she do in that movie? She starts killing people again. She learned nothing from her own TV show. She starts killing people again. Like, what the hell? So if you're a woman, you don't have to face consequences. Because that's the message that these movies and these TV shows and this movie, Devil Wears Prada, that's the message they keep putting out there for women. There are no consequences for you because you're a woman. Only men have to face consequences. You see what I mean? And that's and you can believe that all you want, and you can root for it in the movie theater all you want, and you can enjoy it when you see it on a TV show all you want, but that doesn't change the fact that the real world is not a fucking movie, it ain't a TV show, it ain't a romance novel, okay? Okay, in real life, you pay for what you do in one way. It might be indirectly, but you will pay for the things that you've done one way or another, okay? Life has a way of balancing itself out, okay? So, I just wish, that if there was something I could transfer over from guy movies into girl movies, is that, okay? No, there is a reckoning, okay, for the things that's just good storytelling, but it's also true in real life. Just because you think you got away with something, okay, doesn't mean you got away with it, okay? For example, if you start off lying and start getting away with it, you're going to start lying more, okay? The lies are going to get bigger, okay? And then eventually you will get caught. And once you do, there's your credibility. Okay? Because you weren't bullshitting about little things anymore. You were bullshitting about big things, and now you're caught. No one's ever going to trust you again. You see what I mean? It's like when you're a kid and you steal some bubble gum from the store. No big deal. You got away with it. Later on, you steal a few more. And then later on, you start stealing things out of people's cars. You got away with it. Start stealing things out of people's purses. Got away with it. Eventually you get to, start, stealing things from people's houses when they're not home. You got away with it. And then eventually you're going to steal something big, okay? And you're going to get caught. And now you're going to do time. And now that's on your record. Now you're doing time. Now that's on your record, okay? because you started doing it, you started getting away with it, you started getting bolder, more confident in your ability to steal, and eventually you are going to get caught. It's a mathematical certainty, okay? The only people that don't get caught are the ones that only do it once or twice and never do it again, and we all know damn well there's not many people like that, okay? You know, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, okay? So when you get caught, it's going to be more important when you do get caught. The consequences are going to be a lot worse. You see what I mean? So what did you win? What did you win when you started stealing? All you learned how to do is how to become a better thief. And even the best thieves in the world get caught eventually. You see what I mean? And then you're fucked. Because once you get out of jail for that, if you make it out of jail, okay, who the hell's ever going to trust? Who's going to offer you a job? Who's going to do anything for you when you've got that on your record? You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, okay? Don't make the mistake that just because, you know, the female protagonist doesn't pay for what she's done, that means that you're not going to pay either. You are going to pay. I'm going to pay. Everyone's going to pay. You know damn well that's true, okay? So let's inject a little bit of realism here. All right. Let's talk about the movie, okay? I don't want on my rant there, but let's talk about the movie. So where did we leave off last time? Okay, so Andy's trying to save Runway Magazine, okay? There's a scandal, okay? Apparently, Miranda Priestley, the editor-in-chief of Runway Magazine, she allowed a puff piece article about this company called Speedfash. Okay, they wrote a wonderful review on them, and then we find out later on that they were actually a sweatshop labor company. Okay, and so now Runway Magazine, their credibility is taking a hit, their reputation is taking a hit. Okay, and they have to beg advertisers to continue advertising in their magazine, or else there's not going to be any magazine. They're all going to be out of a job. This particularly hurts Miranda Priestley because even though she's fucking 76 years old, okay, she's due for a promotion. To be head of global content, okay? So Runway Magazine is owned by a company called Elias Clark Publications, okay? The owner of that is Irv Ravitz, okay? And he is tapping Miranda for a promotion where she's going to be in charge of all the global content for Elias Clark Publications, okay? She's going to oversee Runway Magazine and a whole bunch of other things. Okay, at least that's what's supposed to happen. But now the scandal just happened, so now Miranda's kind of worried she ain't going to get the promotion. She's got to fucking find a way to fix this, okay? Well, Irv Ravitz, the owner of Elias Clark, he rehires Andy. I don't know if you remembered her from the last movie, but he rehires her, but this time she's an editor. Okay, editor of designs or some shit like that. Okay, and so she's not an assistant anymore like she was in part one. Now she's an editor. She has her own a secretary now, her own assistant named Jin Chow. This little Asian girl who graduated from Stanford. Okay, so now Andy, our protagonist, is trying to write a bunch of articles from the magazine to try to reestablish her reputation. Okay, she said, okay, we're sorry. We fucked up when we wrote that story praising Speedfash. We were wrong. It's our fault. We accept responsibility. We want to win back your trust. That kind of thing. Okay, that's the way they're trying to go about it. Okay. The problem with her apology articles is that nobody's reading them. Okay, nobody's reading Andy's articles. Okay, nobody's reading Runway Magazine right now. Okay, so she's not succeeding at what she's supposed to do. She's trying to get the magazine #1 again. Trying to get the reputation for the magazine back. All right, and it's not working. Okay, now if you remember Emily. Emily was Emily Blunt's character from the movie, from part one. Her name was Emily Charlton. She was this stuck-up fucking white bitch, okay, who thinks she's all that, named Emily. Well, guess what? That's also Emily Blunt in real life, so it wasn't much of a stress for her to play this character. Okay, yes, the rebooted Mary Poppins. Remember that piece of shit movie? Yeah, that nobody went to go see? Yeah, didn't bring back the franchise, did it, Emily? Anyway, so now she no longer works at Dwar. I mean, she no longer works at Runway. She works at Dwar now, or DOR, or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. I'm not fucking gay. Okay. But anyway, Dwar, I know it's a real brand. Anyway, so she works there now. She works in the retail, but she's an executive. Okay, she's an executive. They're opening a new store in Manhattan, and so one of the conditions for Dwar to continue to pay for advertisements in Runway Magazine is that Runway Magazine do a 4-page feature on the new Dwar store that Emily is personally supervising. Okay, so she's in there telling everybody where to put stuff, what color everything's supposed to be, all that kind of shit. So she's working, okay? And Andy shows up, okay? So Andy's gonna write that article. She's gonna write that puff piece for Dwar, okay, that Miranda agreed to when she was negotiating, keeping them as a client. Okay, so Emily supervises the store construction. She's a picky bitch, of course, about everything. You know, Andy arrives to cover the new flagship store. Okay, Andy compliments Emily on being all grown up. Okay, because remember, Emily was the first assistant in the last movie. Now, the last movie took place 20 years ago. Okay, so Emily was the first assistant, and Andy was the second assistant. Okay. So that's going on here. She tells Emily that she looks all grown up now. Okay, and Andy wants to talk human to human. Now, Emily was a complete bitch to Andy in part 1 in the original movie, but eventually Andy, she did start letting down her defenses. Basically, she started fucking up. Okay, Emily got sick, Andy had to cover for her. Emily got hit by a car, Andy had to cover for her. Eventually, Andy replaced Emily as the number 1 assistant, okay, which really was a betrayal to Emily, since Emily was the one that actually showed Andy the ropes, showed her how everything works, what to do, what the instructions were, and all that kind of shit, okay? Yes, she was a bitch to her, but she was also teaching her what to do, okay? And then what does Andy do, okay? Once Emily is laid low, she basically takes all of Emily's responsibilities away, and Miranda starts focusing on Andy instead of Emily, okay, which really fucked over Emily, because Emily was completely loyal to Miranda, okay? She was starving herself, okay? She was, all she cared about was getting to go to Paris for the Fashion Week thing, and then she got fucked out of that because she got hit by a car. So at the end of part 1, Andy decided to make it up to Emily by giving her all the designer clothes that were donated to her or something. So that was her apology, okay? She also fucked over her boyfriend, and she apologized to him, but she didn't tell him she fucked another guy, though. She didn't say that part. And I don't give a shit what you say. I know some of you out there seem to think that her boyfriend was an asshole in the last movie. No, he was not. Okay, put the shoe on the other foot. If your fucking girlfriend, okay, fucked you, blew you off on your own fucking birthday party, okay, you'd be fucking pissed off too. Okay, so don't give me that fucking shit that he was this asshole. No, if anything, Andy started off as a nice girl, and then she became an asshole in that movie, and she's still a fucking asshole. That's what happened. All right, moving right along. Okay, so Emily, we find out Emily is divorced. Okay, of course she is. I mean, who's gonna stay married to that bitch? Okay, she's stuck up there. She's like, I was married. He's a narcissist, but I got 2 lovely children out of it. Really? You married a narcissist? Well, guess what, Emily? So did he. God damn. That's the pot calling the kettle black. We don't even see this guy but for like a couple of seconds later on in the movie. Okay, but you know, which is not much time to form an opinion of his character. But we've seen Emily in all of part 1, and what we've seen so far in part 2, she's still a stuck-up narcissistic piece of shit bitch, boss bitch, who don't give 2 shits about her fucking kids because her career comes first. And she's not fucking working 3 jobs to put food on the fucking table, okay? She's working at Dwar, okay, collecting a very good paycheck, okay, for her fucking ego. Because she wants to be a boss bitch. Anyway. But she says that she has 2 beautiful children that she doesn't raise, okay, that they live in pictures on her phone. Yeah, they do. That's where her children live. They live as pictures on her phone. That's how often she sees them. When she looks at her phone, that's when she sees her kids. So I was wrong. She does see her kids. She sees her kids all the time. She doesn't interact with them. Okay? Okay, because like I said, she doesn't raise them, and because she's too busy with her executive job and spending time with her fucking billionaire boyfriend to be a fucking mom. Okay? So for her to be talking about narcissism is kind of ironic. A little bit. All right? Okay, and yes, by the way, Emily is a gold digger. Okay, just because she's making at least six or seven figures now at Dwar, don't think for one fucking second that hypergamy ain't just a fucking river in India. Okay, it most certainly is still all the women in this fucking movie. Okay, hypergamy is a real fucking thing, and of course, Emily, like every other woman in these movies, is a fucking gold digger. Okay, her boyfriend's a billionaire, and wait till you find out who her boyfriend is. All right, but we'll get to that later. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's what she's in love with, his fucking big fucking bank account. All right, so that's going on here. And who would have guessed, by the way? No way. Emily Charlton, a gold digger? No way. I thought she just hung out at those billionaire parties because she liked the conversation. Oh, well. All right, anyway, so Andy has been gone from New York for 15 years. That's what we find out. She's traveled the world or something, and then she came back. All right. Traveling the world, searching for stories and having lots of sex. Okay. Now she's 42, childless, husbandless, and trying to maintain her career. No shit. Okay. Kind of like, the message of all these movies, right? But she does not, but she does have frozen eggs that she loves very much. She says, but as far as my kids go, well, they're frozen right now in a doctor's clinic up the street. Okay. But whenever I think about them, my heart just blushes. Yeah, frozen eggs. Yeah. Okay. So Andy asks Emily, okay, so what about you? Like you used to work in the magazine, and now you're working here at Dwar. You're basically running a store. She's like, luxury retail is the only section of the fashion industry that still makes money. So that's why Emily left Runway Magazine, okay? That's why she left Miranda, okay? She says she has raised the price of frivolous shit and shamed the modern woman into owning them, okay? So that's what she does, okay? She raises the price of fucking useless fucking shit, purses and cups and, and shoes and shit, everyday stuff. She raises the price of it, and then she makes you, the consumer, that's you women, okay? You feel like you're a piece of shit because you don't own it. So if you want to feel better about yourself, you got to spend, fucking $5,000 on a pair of shoes, okay? You got to spend $3,000 on a fucking purse, that kind of, that's what she does, okay? That's what she's committed her life to. That's what's more important than a fucking husband or her fucking kids, okay? It's selling fucking gullible, fucking old, middle-aged, fucking fat, unattractive women with money, okay? Useless fucking shit, okay? And making them feel bad if they don't fucking buy it. That's what she's committed her life to. That's the meaning of her life. Okay, anyway. Emily says, is it a bad thing to bring beauty and design to everyone? And Andy says, everyone who can afford a $3,000 handbag. She's like, have you ever heard of Christmas? Worry about your own career. None of your stories are moving the needle or getting any traction. I bet I know how Miranda is treating you. That kind of thing. So of course she's got to rub it in. See what I mean? Emily's still a bitch. And Andy's supposed to be her friend. Not close friend, but they did make up. At the end of the last movie, they did they did make up. They decided like she wasn't gonna hate her anymore. You see what I mean? So this isn't the way friends talk to each other, okay? This is how one boss bitch trying to out-boss bitch another boss bitch that's in the room. It's pathetic. All right. Moving right along, okay, later on in her office with Nigel, okay, Miranda is getting yelled at on the phone by Irv Ravitz, the owner of Elias Clark Publications, okay? So she's getting yelled at on the phone, okay, about the numbers not improving, okay, because nobody is reading the magazine, okay? And he, of course, is blaming Miranda for it. Now, after Miranda hangs up the phone with her boss, she looks at Nigel. She's like, "Oh my God, okay? I'm not the one that hired Andy here, okay? He's like he hired her, not me, but yet she's my problem." Andy's not talking about my promotion either. Okay, so Miranda's whole opinion here is that because of the scandal, she's already got a game plan about how to fix it, how to win back their reputation, how to fucking, maintain her relationship with her advertisers and all that kind of stuff so that everyone keeps their job. She's thinking, she's all over this stuff, okay? But Andy just got hired like 2 days ago, okay, as an editor. And Irv hired her to fix this, basically as a PR stunt, okay, to improve the public relations between the Runway magazine and the consumer, okay? But nobody's reading Andy's articles, okay? And honest to God, Miranda never ever once depended on Andy to save the fucking magazine. She's always, in her own mind, she's always known that she's gonna have to save the magazine, okay? She did not hire Andy, okay? She did not put Andy in a position to save the magazine. That wasn't her call. She just has to tolerate Andy because her boss hired her. Okay, you see what I mean? So, and if anything, the way Miranda looks at it is by Irv hiring Andy back at the magazine, it's making her job even worse and more difficult. You see what I mean? Miranda wants control of the magazine. By controlling the magazine, she can fix it. She's been through this before. She knows what she's fucking doing. And nobody in the fucking city of New York knows more about fashion than fucking Miranda. Okay? Miranda Priestley is the fucking queen. She knows her shit. That's why she's there. Okay? But wild cards, okay, and her boss hiring people that Miranda did not approve of is just fucking with her. It's making it more difficult. You see what I mean? Because Miranda doesn't have faith in people. Okay, they got to prove that to her. They got to prove that they're worthy of her respect. They got to prove that they're competent at their jobs. And she makes sure their jobs are really fucking hard. Okay? So if you ever get to a point where she does depend on you, like Nigel, okay, that means that you fucking earned it. Okay, because their standards are so fucking high that almost nobody can meet them. You see what I mean? And I learned all that from the last movie. All right. So that's going on here, okay? She's afraid she's not going to get that promotion to global editor, okay? Andy is brainstorming, okay, with her assistant in her office, which is basically a closet. Okay, it's a storage room. Because Miranda does not respect Andy at all. Okay, she's brainstorming with Jin Chow, her assistant, about writing the smart stuff and then the fun stuff. They're not the same thing. Okay, she's not sure. She should be writing articles about the important things or things that just people want to read, like the trashy stuff, Okay, because she's trying to think of how do I keep my journalistic integrity, but yet still sell a lot of magazines. Like, how do I do that? She's trying to find that balance. Okay, so of course, Miranda arrives and tells Andy that Irv, okay, the owner, is very upset. Okay, because Andy's stories, okay, are shit that nobody reads. Okay. Okay, so Miranda says, I have no problem with you turning on new readers at Runway, okay? That's all great, okay? But maybe don't turn off the old readers in the process. That kind of a thing, okay? So now Andy's afraid she's going to get fired. She's afraid that she's fucking up her job. And like I said, she just got there, okay? So she's really nervous. She just got fired from her last job because nobody's reading newspapers and magazines anymore. So she needs this job. And she also promised the writers that worked with her at her old magazine, her old newspaper, that she would hire them, okay, because she's an editor at Runway magazine now. So they need her working there so that they can have jobs too. You see what I mean? So Andy's in a panic now, okay, and she's desperate. Okay, so Andy tells Miranda that she has an interview lined up with Sasha Barnes. Now, Sasha Barnes is a very famous public figure, okay, in this movie, okay? It's Lucy Liu, okay? Come on, all right? Anyway, she's a boss bitch. Of course she is. She's a boss bitch, okay? But she was married to a fat billionaire named Benjamin Barnes, okay? And then they got divorced, and he was a tech bro, okay? Like an Elon Musk type, Bill Gates type guy, right? Anyway, they got divorced, and of course, she got half of his assets in the divorce. So now she's a billionaireess, okay? But she shuns the media. She doesn't do interviews. She hasn't done an interview like in 3 years. And Miranda has been trying to get an interview with Sasha Barnes, but she refuses to do it, okay? So right now, Sasha Barnes is like the holy grail of the magazine industry, okay? They're all trying to get an interview with her, okay? All right. So of course Andy bullshits and says that, hey, I think I can get an interview with Sasha Barnes. Now this impresses Miranda. Okay. You know, because that's what Miranda wants. Okay. You know, and so now Andy has just screwed herself because she has no idea how she's going to get an interview with Sasha Barnes. She just made that up on the spot. Okay. To keep her job. Okay, so she's at a bar with that New York Yankees guy. Remember that big, tall, bald motherfucker? Well, I don't know if he's bald or not, but he looks like he's bald. The big, tall, fat guy, you know, the guy that wears the baseball cap at award ceremonies. Okay, well, now he's at a bar with Andy with his baseball fucking cap on. All right, and they're sitting there getting drunk and talking about fucking how they're going to get a hold of Sasha Barnes. Okay? What do you call it? So when I'm thinking to myself, seeing her with this guy, why doesn't Andy just date him? Okay, he's straight. He's fucking got a New York Yankees baseball cap surgically attached to his fucking forehead. Okay, I'm pretty sure he wears it in the shower too. Okay, so why doesn't she just date him? At least he's fucking straight. What other straight guys are in this movie? There's none. You see what I mean? So yeah. So why don't she just date him? You know, I mean, she hangs out with him more than her other former writers. Okay, in the beginning of the movie, we saw her sitting down with employees that used to work for her at the newspaper she worked at. All of them were women except for this one guy. Okay, and you don't see her hanging out with those, but she's always hanging out with this guy. So why don't you just fucking date him? What the fuck? God damn. Anyway, so that's going on here. You know, blah blah blah. They do some research on Sasha Barnes, and they find out that she owns a multi-million-dollar villa in Vermont. Okay, libtard heaven over there. Okay, and Andy's like, you know, he tells me, he's like, are you sure you want to do this? Okay, you sure you want to play with fire? And Andy says like, I am the fire. No modesty there. Okay. So she notices a painting in the background. There's a picture of Sasha Barnes. Sasha Barnes is famous for her art collection. She has a huge art collection, okay? And she notices a painting in the background, okay? Now, if you remember from the last movie, remember Andy had a best friend, a black girl, okay, who weighed like 110 pounds in part one? Well, now she weighs like 210 pounds, okay? But guess what? She still works at the art gallery, okay? Just like she did in the last movie, all right? So Andy thinks, oh, you know what? That painting in the background, okay? My friend, my guest girlfriend is an art dealer. She sells expensive paintings. Maybe she knows who sold Andy that painting. And then that person can get me an interview with Andy. You know, so that's how her mind is working here, okay? You know, so that's going on here. So she contacts her friend Lily. That's the black girl's name, Lily, okay? And asks her if she recognizes the painting. Of course, she does recognize the painting. It's a Cecilia Brown, okay? And it was sold to Sasha Barnes for $600,000 back in 2009. In fact, Lily knows the art dealer that sold it to her, okay? Her name is Paula. So Lily tells Andy that okay, fine, I'm gonna go try to fucking get a hold of Paula and see if maybe she can get you in touch with somebody who can get you in touch with Sasha. Okay, so that's her plan. Okay, so later on, while Andy is boss bitch walking, okay, what she does in the entire movie, just walking like she owns the whole fucking city. You know, they all fucking do this. You know, when men do it, they're considered arrogant, but when women do it, they're considered confident. Go figure. Anyway, so she's walking like a boss bitch in New York. Okay, and she asks Paula on the phone for Sasha's phone number. Okay, but Paula tells Andy that she only has the phone number to Sasha's dog walker. So, okay, well then give me the dog walker's phone number. So she's trying to make her way to Sasha Barnes, okay? Gets that number. Okay, Andy starts blowing up Sasha's phone, starts leaving voice message after voice message after voice message, okay? Okay, to try to secure an interview with Sasha Barnes, okay? Lily takes Andy apartment hunting, okay? You know, for a nicer place. Now remember, even though it's 20 years later, in the last movie, in part one, Andy lived in a shitty apartment with her boyfriend. Now it's 20 years later, and Andy is no longer an assistant. She's an editor now at Runway, okay? And she still lives in a shitty fucking apartment with dirty fucking brown tap water. Okay, so her friend Lily takes her apartment shopping. Okay, in a nice apartment building. Okay, one that Andy can't afford right now. Even though she's getting paid more, she's not sure that she has enough job security at Runway to be able to afford a new apartment. Okay. So that's going on here, you know. But of course, Lily's out. But you're going to get the apartment that you deserve, girlfriend. Okay. Anyway, so it's an open house at this apartment building. Okay. There's a great view of the city up there. Okay. There's Andy walks into the bedroom, and there's this skinny little nerdy older Australian guy sitting there looking at a piece of paper. Okay. His name is Peter. Okay. This is he tells her that, you know, he's got an Australian accent. He's like, hey, do you like the apartment? Yeah, it's pretty nice, isn't it? You know, okay, it's renovated property, you know. So basically, it's an old building that he renovated it to make it more modern, okay? Andy says, like, that's what's wrong with society. Everything's renovated. You know, that's what Andy says, okay? You know, I hate it when they find a historic building and then they just change it. You know, that's what she says. And Peter's like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, you see, that's me. See, I'm the one that did it, okay? I'm the one that renovated this entire building, okay? And she's like, oh my God, I'm such a jerk. You know, okay? And he's like, oh, and you can't understand what the fuck he's saying. Okay, it's blabble. He's like, I got the rich old people together. They bought the building. I worked on it. Got a piece of the profit. I'm not a greedy developer. I'm a contractor. The building was in bad shape. Oh yeah, it was in real bad shape. They were going to tear it down. Yes, they were. I'm not some awful, disgusting, heartbreaking person. There were rats here when I got here, man. Rats that were basically human. Like that. You can't understand the fucking thing he's saying. Okay. Anyway, the actor that plays Peter, his name is Patrick Bromell. I don't know two shits about him. I guess he's going to be the love interest. And honest to God, they can do this entire movie without him being in it. It would not change the plot at all. Okay, he's just there to be there. There's a certain expectation, okay, on a chick flick that there's going to be some sort of romance going on here. Okay, Miranda Priestley doesn't have one romantic bone in her body, and neither does fucking Emily. So it's going to have to be Andy, and Andy's a fucking bitch. Okay, so, you know, you don't really want to see someone fall in love with her, because the only kind of person that would fall in love with Andy is a limp dick soy boy beta male who's just gonna roll over for her, okay? And guess what? That's what Peter is. So maybe it is true love. Who fucking knows? All right, I'm done for now, man. I'm getting worked up, all right? So I'm gonna stop my review right here, but I'll be back to continue my review of this piece of, well, is it a piece of, no, this scene is a piece of crap. It's not a piece of crap movie. I'm not gonna downgrade it that far, but it could definitely use some work. Okay. Anyway, okay. So that's it for today. I'll be back soon to continue my review of Devil Wears Prada Part 2. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.